Okay, so as you may be able to guess from the title of the video, this one does not go so well for me. So please enjoy the punts. So we get in the mix on a Saturday night, great time to play poker. I buy in for $1,000 to start. Let's begin. And well, as you might expect, it doesn't start off that great for me. I tried to get frisky with big lick, didn't work out, before picking up ace king offsuit in the straddle. The small blind and big blind limp, I raise it up to 50 and both of them call. Not a great flop, definitely not gonna hit my range, but I do have the king of diamonds to fall back on, so when the two players check, I check it back. Turn is no help, it's an offsuit 3. The big blind now bets out $50. For this price, happy to call. Small blind gets out of the way, needs some help, and we kind of get it. It's the king of hearts. Would have preferred a diamond, but when he checks, I'm very confident I have the best hand, so I bet 150 for value, looking to get called by like a pair of 9s, pair of 8s, maybe a 7. Instead, he snap calls with king 9. So very nice hand to him. Let's see how hot those 9s really are, because I've got 2 of them in my hand. There's a raise to 25, a call, I call, and so does one other player. So 4 ways to a flop, and there is the 9. I check, hoping somebody's gonna bet big and I can check raise even bigger. Instead, action checks through. Turn's not great, flush comes in. I could probably bet here, but I'm gonna keep slow playing. I check, the original raiser now puts out a bet, $75, and for the slightly bigger size, I just call, nobody else does, and the river is fantastic. We boat up, the only way I'm gonna get all the money is if I check jam, so that's what I'm gonna go for. I check. Would be really embarrassing if he checks back, but he doesn't. He bets 175, and yeah, the play is pretty clear now. Hope that he has a flush and get it all. I'm all in, and he tanks for a while, so naturally in my head I'm just yelling fold, 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 hoping that somehow my opponent can read my thoughts. But I guess he can't, because he does indeed make the fold. Would have been nice to get paid there, but instead we're going to move on to my absolute nemesis, the double board bomb pot. Nice thing is this time we've got position on everybody, and I have a pretty good starting hand, king, queen, jack, 7. The first board gives us a wrap, the second board not much at all just yet. Action checks to the cutoff who bets 50. For this price, I'm happy to call, hope nobody check raises. And nobody does. Instead, we're still 6 ways going into some turns, and they're the same on both. It's a queen. So we've got the nuts up top, and now top pair and a gut shot on the other board. Nobody's checking on this street because the small blind leads out for 250. All the 4 players between us fold, and now the question is, do I jam or do I just call? And I think I should just call. I have the nuts on one, but not really a whole lot on the other. It's almost impossible that I scoop, so I want to see some clean rivers first. I just call, and we still have the nuts up top, which is great. And it's an 8 on the other board, which doesn't help us at all. He goes all in, and yeah, I got a call. Unfortunately, he has king jack also, and what's worse, he has a 10 in his hand too, so he's got the absolute stone cold nuts on both boards. Very tough to do. I assumed I would chop, but yeah, why would I do that? A quarter of the pot is the best that I can hope for these days. So I'm in the game for 2100 total now. Not great, and I raise up queen jack from early position. Only one player makes the call, and we don't hit anything on the flop. But there's a good chance he didn't either, so I bet 20. He calls. Turn is the brickiest of bricks. I'm gonna keep betting, try to get him off of a 10 at some point in the hand. However, he calls, at least for now, and the river is the king of hearts, so that changes everything. The flush comes in, and any 10 or 9s, 8s, 7s, hands like that are gonna be really uncomfortable. I bet 150, which I think is too small in this situation, and he agrees with me because he calls pretty quickly with a 6. So nice hand over there. A couple hands later, I get 10-6 suited in the straddle. A player raises to 30, 2 people call, and suited cards at least kind of connected. I'm gonna make the call, closing the action, and we flop a flush draw. Big blind, myself, the original raiser, we all check, but the other player in the hand is gonna bet out $60. The big blind calls, and yeah, this isn't great because there's a decent chance that somebody has a better spade draw than me, but I'm not gonna fold just yet. I make the call, and the turn is a 4, which gives us a gutter. Action checks the early position again, but this time he checks it back. Would be great to improve, but yeah, as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm not going to improve very much. It's an offsuit 7. The big blind checks, and look, I made a mistake last river by betting too small. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to bet the pot 330, pretty much exclusively representing a 5, and the early position player goes into a long tank. I'm yelling, call, 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 and he ends up folding. So I think I'm out of the woods, but now the big blind is also going into the tank. This is why it's usually a bad idea to bluff into multiple players, but surely they know that most people don't bluff into multiple players, and oh, nope, he's putting his chips directly in front of me. That's so nice of him, right where I can reach him. But unfortunately for him, he's going to have to reach back across the felt and grab his own chips back because he's got an ace. So really good call by him, snuffing that one out, and the very next hand, I've got King Jack suited in the big blind. The straddle's still on, under the gun raises to 25, one player calls. I'm getting smoked, but I think this is still a 3-bet. I go 125 and both players call. So 3 ways to a flop that does not hit us. We do have a backdoor spade draw, but I'm going to down bet pretty much my entire range on this board. I bet 130 and they don't care about that whatsoever because they both call again. When they both call, I'm just going to shut it down on most turns, but instead it's a jack. And now I should have the best hand most of the time unless they have 7-6 or a set. My chip stack has dwindled quite a bit, so I have less than pot behind. Decision seems pretty clear. I go all in, and it's a literal snap call from under the gun, which is kind of weird to see when there's still another player left to act. And what's more concerning is that player is now going into the tank. If he calls, I'm probably just dead, but eventually he decides to fold. We decide to go twice. I tell him I have a jack, and now he flips over ace jack. Okay, well, 3 outs twice, and nope, and nope. What I thought was a great turn is actually the worst one in the deck. I have been felted. I've bought in for $2,100, and I have $0 now, so I'm gonna buy back in with the last chips that I still have in my bag. And well, I just kind of flounder for a bit. I really do my best to pick up pots, but sometimes it's not possible. I can't hit a single card on the board, and my image is, the opposite of good. I can't exactly bluff at it anymore. I lose slowly for another half hour and cash out what I have left. Terrible day. This is actually the day after the last video I posted, so I lost back almost everything I made. Hurts quite a bit, but in this game, you gotta get back up when you get knocked down. I come back a couple days later and try it all over again, buying for $1,000. Can I please have a better day? And this time we start with 10-7 suited in the big blind. There's a raise of 25 over a straddle. Maybe a little bit too loose. In the straddle, it's an easy call, but in the big blind, I could probably let it go. Anyways, I called, straddle folded, so we're heads up to a flop, and we flop a spade draw. I check it over to him. He bets small, $20. Happy to chase my flush for this price, and we get there on the turn. I check again. Unfortunately, he also checks, so probably not going to be a huge pot, and the river is a queen, so now there's a 4-liner out there. I do have a 10, but I'm not even playing it. I'm playing the flush. After losing a lot the last time, I want to get a lot of money in, and I think the best way to do that is to check raise. I think he'll go for thin value with like king queen, queen jack, obviously a 10, so I check. He bets $35, very small, and yeah, let's go for it. I decided to check raise to $200. I probably don't have a ton of bluffs. I mean, it would be like turning a 9 into a bluff mostly, and he tanks for like 2 minutes. Would be really fun if he called, but nope. He did not. He folded. So we don't get very much value with our flush, but at least I'm winning a hand again. Then we get Jack 9 suited. There's a straddle, 2 limps. I raise it up to 50. This scares almost nobody at the table. We end up going 5 ways to a flop, and we get another spade draw. Lots of spades in this video, and I'm definitely looking for one more. Action checks to me, and well, 4 players in the pot. Somebody could have a better spade draw than me, so I don't want to bloat it too much. I decide to check, and the last player to act bets 55. Really small bet that, again, scares nobody at the table. All the players before me call, and of course I got a call too, just hoping that nobody has better spades. The turn's the queen of diamonds, so we do pick up a gutter. Action checks to the same player, and he bets 150 now. This time, 2 players do fold. The guy to my right calls though. And yeah, I have way too much equity to get out of the way. I call, looking to improve, but nope. The back door flush comes in instead of the front door. Guy before me checks, I check, give up. But the cutoff isn't done betting. He goes 350. The player before me ends up making the call. Of course I fold. Middle position ended up having king 10 of clubs, but that's no good against king 9 of diamonds. So I think I played this one fine, honestly. I got to see all cards with my draw for cheap, just didn't get there this time. The very next hand is the dreaded double board PLO bomb pot. I've got Jack 10, 7, 5 this time, and we've got 3 pair on one board, as well as a couple of gutters to the nuts on the other. Action checks to the cutoff, who bets $75. Guy to my right calls. And I should really check raise here, but to be completely honest with you, I didn't realize I had 2 straight draws on the other board. So I decided to just call, try to see something clean up top. And we do. It's an offsuit 4, other cards a 3, so don't love that. It pairs the board, might be drawing dead on that one now. Action checks to the cutoff again, who bets 350, right about the pot. If the player before me calls, I'm just going to get out of the way, but instead he folds, and I don't have very much more than this bet. So I don't really think about it very much and decide to jam it in. He calls, and yeah, this is probably very bad, what I just did. I mean, there's a decent chance I'm just dead on the bottom, and up top he could have me beat, and even if he doesn't, he probably has a lot of outs. Anyways, we're here now. It's an offsuit 7 up top, so not too bad. King of hearts down below doesn't help us at all, and he's got 2 sets. He's got pocket 5s and pocket 6s. So that'll be more than enough to scoop. I really messed this up. This was just bad by me. I got it in with 4 outs to chop, which is really tough in a bomb pot. It's either I hit one of the 4 and get my money back, or I just lose everything. And yeah, predictably, I lost everything. For the second time, I have been felted. And well, 30 minutes later, guess what happens? It's another bomb pot. This hand, I've got a hand similar to what the other guy had last time. I've got 2 pairs, 9, 9, 3, 3. We flop a 9 high spade draw up top, which probably isn't relevant. And we hit a set down below, but it is all hearts, so not super great. Not even sure if I'll call a flop bet, but action checked through, so that's pretty nice to hear. And we now have a set on both boards. Fail to boat up on the other. Action checks to the hijack, who bets $90, and a few players call. I decide to call 2, not really sure where I'm at. So we're going 5 ways to some rivers. There is a chance that I hit quads, by the way, on both boards. That would be really, really cool. That doesn't happen, by the way. It is a 4, though, up top, so we boat up. We only lose to 10-4, 4-3, and 4 deuce. Other board, we don't boat up. It's an offsuit 10. So action checks to the hijack again, who bets 420. 2 players fold, then the guy before me decides to make the call, which makes my decision a lot murkier. I'm really just counting on the pocket 3s being good, and then the hijack and I can chop up the early position player's money. So I decide to call, and hijack tables queen 9 of hearts as well as 4 deuce. Now, this is very embarrassing, but initially I did not realize that I had the loser with my pocket 3s. In the moment, I was really just thinking about 10-4 for some reason, so I table my hand. The rest of the table lets me know that that is no good, as 4's full beats 3's full. So early position and I get scooped, and look, I'm probably not the worst poker player in Texas, but it is very possible and maybe even very likely that I am the worst double board bomb pot player in all of Texas. But hey guys, it's not all bad. I've got 4-3 suited in the cutoff. I raise it up over a limp, only the small blind calls. We flop nothing, because, you know, why would I? But let's put out a $25 bet, see where that goes. Nope, he calls. Churn could scare him off though, so let's just bluff with 4 high. That's a great idea, right? I bet $80, and actually, he does fold. So, you know, lose a couple, win a couple. It all evens out, right? With my new confidence, I raise up ace-jack in the big blind. There was a straddle and a limp, so I raised a 40. The straddle and limper both call, so 3 ways to a 9-9-5 board. Super dry one. Maybe I should bet with ace high. I decide to start with a check, and the other players do too. Turns the king of spades. Definitely going to represent this. I bet out $60, and only the straddle makes the call. Last card's the 8 of spades, and unless he has a full house or a flush, I don't think he can call. I'm going to rep a really strong hand, bet big, 235, and he goes into the tank. At this point, I'm just kind of numb to losing, so I don't really feel anything as I do this. I almost don't even care what he does, to be completely honest with you. Still, let's give a half-hearted fold, 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 please fold, and nope, he calls, and he was never gonna fold. It was either call or raise because he has the nut flush. Kind of weird that this happened because I had 2 flush draws before the flop and he only had 1, so how is it fair that he got his, right guys? Anyways, that's enough punting for today. Cash out the few chips I have left, take another L. One bright spot though, I did not lose $2,000 today. I guess that's about the best that a guy like me can hope for, huh? Yeah, not great, I know. Ran bad, played even worse. Let's talk about what's next. Okay, so not great, obviously. The bad news is this number. I lost that much in 2 days of play, which is, yeah, that sucks a lot. But the good news is I bought a poker table. So now I'm just gonna be in my apartment all day, figuring out how to play these double board PLO bomb pots. That makes sense, right? This is how those other guys did it. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I also got this table for some content stuff. So I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff on Instagram. If you haven't followed me already there, please do so. I've got a lot of fun ideas coming up. But yeah, man, overall, it's not great what's been going on this year. I said I was going to make 200K, and yeah, as you may suspect, we're not on that pace, like, whatsoever right now. So I don't know, man. I'm trying, and I know the whole kind of purpose of this channel is kind of running it up, and there hasn't been very much progress. I've been playing 2-5 with some brief spurts of 5, 10, 25, but mostly 2-5 since last May. So yeah, I know that can be frustrating for some of you guys, but trust me, nobody's as frustrated as I am with the lack of progress. But I'm just gonna keep trying, man, and maybe try to improve my game a little bit here and there. But yeah, I think times like these, though, it's good to have some perspective. It wasn't even a year ago that I was like completely broke, and I started making videos of me playing 1-2, and I said it was like a challenge or whatever, but the truth is I was just broke. And the very first video, I lost $1,000, and I think I said, you know, even though the game is good, I just don't feel like rebuying, just gonna go home. The truth is I just didn't have any more cash in my pocket, so I couldn't rebuy. That wasn't an option, and I only had maybe a few $1,000s total, maybe, at the time, and I grinded 1-2 for like a month and then ran really hot at 2-5 as soon as I moved up, and that was so lucky. So yeah, the lack of progress really sucks over the past several months, but you know, it could be worse, and I still do think that I'll move up to the bigger game soon enough. I thought I would be making that move now, but yeah, I can't, man. So just gonna have to grind it out. I know this has looked bad some of the last few videos. I've been punting a lot. I'm gonna try not to do that so much anymore. We'll see. Anyways, I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the KDog Poker Vlog.